Good morning once again. I am here to sit in for the office of the spokesperson who were unable to be here. First of all, on behalf of the Forum for Democratic Change, would want to congratulate Mr. Hichilema Hakainde, the President-elect of Zambia, who was representing the United Party for National Development in the just concluded elections. As you are aware, in Africa, incumbents are not easy to defeat. That if some move supergluing themselves and keep around. We want to congratulate the EC chair, Mr. Esa Wichulu, who was brave enough to declare the winner. Hichilema has been trying for the last 6 elections up to date. But I think the difference with Zambia and Uganda is that now he's the 3rd president from what we would call the opposition. The first was Frederick Chiluba, who defeated the founding president, KK, Kenneth Kaunda. The second was Sata, who also defeated an incumbent. And this one is the 3rd one. So there has been a growing civility in the country where institutions and leaders need to become independent. The economy of Zambia has been down, and we believe the new leader, being an economist and the person who was at the center of the economy of Zambia, which is copper, where he worked for a long time, he will help to fix. Lungu and his company had mortgaged the country, as has been seen in this country. The Chinese were all over Zambia, as we see here. We laugh when we hear Mr. Museveni talking about businessmen filling their stores with Chinese products. Yet when he wants money, he goes to China. When he's giving out contracts, he gives out to the Chinese. When he's improving the ideology of the NRM, all NRM leaders have gone to China. The events in Zambia must be a wake-up call to the elites of this country. Because for us, an EC boss works like an announcer. Or in the language that all of you know, he works like an MC. An MC who tells you, so and so has come, so and so should speak. They never announce the results that are being collected by their staff. They actually wait for the results sent to them by the security. And then you hear a man who is a judge reading such results. You hear a man who has a PhD in engineering and a scholar reading the same, and others. So as we've always said, that the problem of this country are the elite. The day the elite will say we want a better country, we'll have it. This country has been robbed completely to zero. As former Prime Minister of the UK, David Cameron, said, that the amount of money stolen in this country, if it was stolen in the UK, they would close shop. But here we have a gang of thieves who have been nicknamed the mafias. Of course, for us who know mafias are a little intelligent. When they steal, you never see their trail. But here you see thugs stealing in a stupid way. And it's the reason why they gang up to make sure that they keep the patriarch, so that the people of Uganda never see any kind of democracy. So we want to congratulate our fellow Africans for this achievement. We pray that Mr. Lungu does not try to play around The good thing is not a dictator that has been around for many years. So he's one that the military can say, Bwana Lungu, kwaheri, go home and rest. I hope as we copy here, Justice Byabakama should do some copying and the rest. That one time try to become a hero of your country and give justice to your country. 2, I have been sent to address you on the issues on an empty check that Mr. Museveni was giving on Saturday. As the FDC, we are failing to understand what Mr. Museveni came to talk about. It was an empty talk, given a very pregnant headline, but empty in details. For in the media, you know it. You give something a very, you can say president is dead. So don't say, oh, could it be ours? Could it be theirs? So at the end of the day, you say, no, the president of Brazil, who has been in hospital for the last 6 months, is dead. So it is the kind of headline that Mr. Museveni was giving. He talked about, speaking about the security situation of this country. We thought he was coming to speak about these gadgets that they want to put on number plates. We thought he was going to say, oh, you know, whatever you do, actually think, we started putting up scenarios. And then when he came, he took us through from NASA, took us through his wars, and then he was as if speaking to an audience that was invisible. Mr. Museveni spoke as if he was in the dock, defending himself. We actually prayed that had it been a press conference, whereby he could be interrogated, that Mr. Museveni, could you be seated on fire? Fellow Uganda, Mr. Museveni is a captive. He's under siege. On many occasions, he has told you. One time he was telling you, people work in his office, give him papers without his knowledge and he signs them. He has told you those who want to see him pay. For me, I want to implore Mr. Museveni, as you're driving to Entebbe Road, come and park at Dajana Nkumbi. Make an alarm for us. We shall put boys here to rescue you. Because you are not in charge, you are scared, and you fear the guys you are with. The statement of Mr. Museveni was a man who was apologetic to the country, but fearing to say, I am sorry. That is what we saw. He was blaming everybody and not himself. So if you get a chance, tell him that the FDC can help you and you give them government, we start doing the fix. Because when you have a president who is not in charge, everything is in a mess. That is why Parliament passes money for the vaccine, and all the vaccine they tell you we have are donations. When are we buying our vaccines? And he's scared to talk about them. He was speaking about human rights. But the years he was telling us he was the master of violence. Then how can a master of violence distance himself from human rights abuses? That is ridiculous. His government has been on record of violation of human rights, beating up opponents, kidnapping them, and others being killed. Mr. Museveni, as he said, he saved the poisoning of, I forgot the guy in London. Otai, he should help us to give us the report of the death of KAIJA. It is on his table. Scotland Yard came and made an investigation. It is on his table. Tell us. Tell us who killed Mudola. When General Kayihura was shot, he said he has a clue of those who killed what? General Katumba. because the guns they have are labeled, are marked, that when a bullet moves out of that gun, you can trace the gun. Actually, before the guns fail, you can't run to the cars and the borders. Because the thug somebody can steal a car, goes for a mission, but he uses a different gun. And then you look for the owner of the car. So Mr. Museveni is a captive who needs urgent rescue. Since now he's saying that they shall no longer be beating up people, Ugandans can go and demonstrate with open hands, with open hugs, go to Nakasa and say, Mr. Museveni, come out. We carry you and protect you at your home. The FDC is ready to offer that so that we have a transition. But short of that, Mr. Museveni's talk, you are having an empty talk. I don't know if he convinced himself or he could even convince his wife of what he was talking about. Mr. Museveni is scared of someone that we don't know. Or he could be responding to what was happening in Sudan. When the government in Sudan agreed to hand over General Bashir. But I wouldn't think that Mr. Museveni is scared of a prison, but he should be scared of a prison. He has never been to jail. For us who have been there, you don't threaten me for taking me to jail. But Mr. Museveni, there must be accountability. Because you cannot give an equivocal that your talk did not have a conclusion. You should have told us that so and so is going to be arrested. When General Kayihura was in charge of police, there was a lot of human rights abuses. Kiboko squad beating up people. They really beat us and used to call him Kada number 1. So the man, the cheaters, they were only arrested when they acted different from what he wanted. When he assumed that possibly their programs were meant to see him out of office. So that is our prayer to Mr. Museveni. Come out, you can even, as you're moving to Entebbe, you ask your boys to stop and run here. We shall rescue you, and then we know how we shall deal with this country. Come back our Olympians, the team that gave us, put the Uganda for our people. The one that stands out was Joshua Kiptigei's actions. A person who can give out his gold medal. The one such character was like, who became the best footballer in the world. MPs going for a recess. Just a few days at work to go and deal with Emyoga, which I saw Mr. Museveni again trying to explain that many Ugandans don't understand the word. You see, a bad title for the book doesn't sell it. All of you have studied literature. The title must be good, must be appealing. Emyoga, even when you ask some Manyanko, do not understand what the word Emyoga means. He was labeling Emyoga, Emyoga of cameraman. So people said Emyoga, what is Emyoga? So that tells that they brought a project, as Mr. Museveni's projects are, that is a non-starter. Those projects have been benefiting from a small cocoon of the NRM, who always have associations. They keep changing names. It is those that get the money. We have implored them. When you say you are giving a circle that has about 17 associations, they should be having about 550 members, and you send them 30 million. If everybody goes to pick that money, everybody will go with 50K. Where on earth can Ugandans 50K, 50,000, which is not even $20, can make someone rich? And then when you hear there's another joint where people go, or I don't know if it is called the Myoga, where you hear musicians pick 500 what? Million. Which kind of apartheid are we creating in this country? Do we want to develop our people to move them out of poverty, or to create a defensive mechanism? In Uganda, what would you say? Okubejjako. See, defensive mechanism, you put somebody in a situation, say, for me, did I play my part? Yes, you played your part. So that they say, they gave us 30 million. You know, it's a political tool. They gave us 30 million. When you ask, how much did you get as an individual? Now when we are challenging them, they say, no, we don't expect everybody to go at the same date. But if you are saying that it's a group of people who want to become rich, and then you promise them money, why shouldn't all of them apply for the loan at the same date? These guys, when you go to per person, they don't want that kind of calculation. They're like politicians who come to a village and they say, I have given you a bull. So that everybody goes talking about a bull. When you ask him, let me see it at your home. No, we went and I got a piece. What? One time I was asking a politician, you see, instead of wasting people's time, why don't you go to Rufura and the guy said, no, beef is different from a bull. See how cunning they can be. Beef, there are the people who say, he brought beef. But now here they will say, he bought a what? A bull. So you go shouting on a bull. So now what these guys are giving our people is a bull. Whereby the blind people, whoever touches it, say, when you touch the horn, oh, it is hard. When you touch the stomach, it is a little soft. When you touch near the ribs, it is a little hard. That is where they want our people to what? To be. For us to know Mr. Museveni, he doesn't have a call of making people rich. You can only get rich in Mr. Museveni's government if you're like a Catholic who goes for Holy Communion. The one who gets near the priest are those who will eat it. You can't be and have it. So when you hear they are sending money, no, it is not your money. So I want to appeal to MPs. They shouldn't stoop too low. They should challenge these guys to have a master plan for the development of our people. Thank you so much.